Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nathan and I'm from class 2B and this is speaking for academic purpose presentation by Muhammad Nathan. And this is a presentation for the research final exam. The title of the research is Exponential Growth Prediction Bias and Compliance with Safety Measures Related to COVID-19. For the content of research is first the abstract, introduction, literature review, research method, result and discussion, conclusion, acknowledge and reference. But I'm just presented only four about the content research. There are abstracts, introduction, literature review, and research methods. Okay. For the abstract, why? Why I choose this research? The research objective is to investigate the importance of an exponential growth prediction bias or AGPB in understanding why the COVID-19 outbreak has exploded. To that end, our goal is to document AGPB in the comparison of disease data, study how it evolves as the epidemic progresses, and connect it with complaints of personal safety guidelines such as the use of face coverings and social distancing. We also investigate whether a behavioral nudge costs less to implement can significantly reduce the AGPP. So, for the next is why? Why is the research necessary to do? The the scientific basis for inquiry is the received wisdom that infectious disease spread, especially in the initial stage, follows an exponential function, meaning few positive cases can explode into a widespread pandemic if the disease is sufficiently transmittable. If people suffer from AGPB, they will likely make incorrect judgment about their infection risk, which is in turn may lead to reduced compliance of safety protocols. And for the next is introduction. What the problem happened in the field, or what is the burning issue on this journal? The people of the world do not yet know behavioral bias about understanding quantitative disease data is important, and taking action as formidable barrier to effective policy action against the spread out of COVID-19. Communication between the public, medical personnel, and government is less clear regarding risk of infection as well as public complaints that has not been protective of this virus. The COVID-19 outbreak is a global pandemic adversely affecting the lives of millions of people around the world. Not a lot is yet known about the virus and how it operates, with considerable uncertainty about the arrival of a vaccine. There is a complete agreement on the need for people to strictly follow WHO or World Health Organization guidelines regarding frequent washing of hands, of use use of hand sanitizers, face masks, social distancing, and if needed, self-quarantine. Of course, surprisingly, not everyone complies with these guidelines, at least not with the seriousness with which they need to be followed. Okay, and next is a literature review. Find out the previous studies and find the research gap. For okay, for the research gap, the previous studies is a journal about the short-term forecast in the early stage of COVID-19 outbreak in Italy. Application of weighted and cumulative average daily growth rate to an exponential decay model. From Nicola Bartolomeo, Polo Trettoli, and Gabriela Serio. It is similar study was conducted uh, short-term forecast in the early stage of COVID-19 outbreak in Italy. This, this study aims outbreak in the early stage in Italy. And this journal accumulated and weighted average daily growth rate or WR to evaluate an epidemic curve. On the basis of exponential decay model or EDM, we provide estimation of the WR in a for time intervals from February 27th to April 7th, 2020 by the calibrating the parameters of the EDM to the reported data in Hubei province in China. And we also attempt to forecast the evolution of the outbreak. An exponential decay model applied to accumulate and weighted average daily growth rate appears to be useful in estimating the numbers of cases and peak of the COVID-19 outbreak in Italy, and the model was more reliable in the exponential growth pace. So, for the next, for the method, is this journal use qualitative or quantitative? This journal used quantitative. The method used in this journal is quantitative method. Okay. And population and sample. What method used in selecting sample? We show our participants data on the actual number of COVID-19 from 4 countries majorly affected by the virus of March 21, 2020. The Germany, the USA, France, and Spain. And in our experiments, participants perform for predictions tasks using data from 2 randomly chosen countries out of these 4. Okay, for the randomly countries, except these 4 countries, and the country names are not revealed. For the next is how is the data collected and why the certain instrument are used to the collect data on the prediction bias. We run an incentivized experiment on a global online platform with participants from people in 43 countries almost 43 countries, and it's at different stages of progression of COVID-19 and different stages maybe in the for the examples, okay, in America is stage 1, in China is maybe stage 4, and blah blah blah. So we also constructed several indicators of complaints by surveying participants about their frequency of hand washing and using sanitizer and mask, and also their willingness to pay for masks, their view about the social appropriateness of others' behavior, and their like or dislike of government response. And next, for the last is how. How is the data analyzed? The data analyzed is from stage 1, countries in, I'm sorry, the data analyzed is from stage 1 countries. In our examples include Netherlands, South Africa, and Bangladesh. For the stage 2 includes India, Mexico, and Turkey. And stage 3 includes United States or US, Italy, and Germany. The data analyzed is not nationally representative, but since the sample were collected on the same platform, they permit a relatively clean comparison. More importantly, the Mark M. Turk is the name of the scientist. M. Turk facilitates access to a global pool of participants who reside in countries at different stages of the disease. This approach provides a unique opportunity to study how AGPB may vary with the stage of the disease progression. And that is how the data analyze. And thank you so much uh, for this journal presentation for the final exam. And okay,